Well, we're here at the workbench here to do some rigs and techniques. We got Mike McFarland from our Upper Middle Fresh region, and we're going to talk a little bit about bass fishing under docks. We're going to stick with that dock theme because it's hot, and
Definitely
the bass
hot.
will get up underneath those docks to get out of the heat. And you're going to tell us a little bit about how you go get them out from under there.
And they like to get that. I had an old timer tell me one time they don't have eyelids, they can't hide from the sun, so they go into the docks for the shade. But let's definitely tell you a little bit about the first thing is we're going to talk about is techniques.
Right.
One of the most important things that you can really find more success with is when you start on these docks, always start on the outside edges first. Right. So you're going to have posts and pillars. They may be metal, they may be wood. You're going to have ladders, swim ladders. Start on the outside edges first.
Everybody wants to get up in there and up underneath the boat and try to get up in there first.
Especially like on our northeast lakes, okay? Most people, the fishermen, put them brush piles underneath.
Right.
And the brush piles look so good, and you know there's fish in those brush piles, okay?
Right.
And so here's the thing. If you throw to the brush pile first, you catch the fish there on the brush piles, when you fight that fish coming out, you spook all the rest of them.
Scare everybody else out of the hole.
Scare everybody else out of the hole. So start on the outside edges first, and then work your way underneath. Quick tip. If you throw that bait up there, and we're going to talk about baits in a second, and it gets hit, boom, boom, and takes off out of there, you know what that means? There's more fish in it.
He's running. He's running from his pals.
He's saying, mine, I'm out of here. So that'll keep you on that dock longer. That'll let you have confidence that there's more fish there to be caught, okay?
Right. So next up, what kind of baits are we wanting to throw at them?
I'm always a jig guy. I think jigs catch big fish. Jigs and bass go along. So something like a flipping jig, a Berkeley flipping jig, you can use a 1/4 ounce, 3/8 ounce.
You turn it around a little bit.
Usually I'm not going to go too much heavier than that. Anything shad colors, sometimes if you see shad, brim colors if you're seeing brim present, and I love crawfish. It's hard to beat crawfish. Bass love crawfish. Northeast Texans love crawfish. Trailer that with that right there, the whoop across bass. Yeah, the thump out of these claws right here is excellent. Lets the bait fall slow on the posts. So you're gonna throw a jig and a bass assassin whoop across, you're gonna get your arm hurt in Texas. So I'm doing that.
Now, when you're doing that, are you trying to hit the water real quiet, or do you mind if it makes a little noise when it comes in?
If I'm on shallow docks, I want to be as quiet as possible presentation. So I'm going to pitch and flip it, try and make a soft presentation. One of the keys also is make sure it has contact. It has contact with the post, contacts with the wood, or the brush pile. Have targets. Don't just fish it in the open water of the dock. Okay?
I gotcha. And next we're going to talk about some of the lighter stuff.
We're going to go to a little different technique, which is going to be weightless style. We got 3 different baits that we can do. We can do a Bass Assassin Vapor Shad. We can do the fat job.
I love that fat job.
I do too. This catches big fish. And we can do the tap out trick worm. Okay. All 3 of them we're going to kind of rig weedless. All right. This one I like to do between the tap out and the fat job. I like to do them wacky style. What you're going to find a lot of times with that wacky style is you can get hung up. Okay. So here's a quick tip. You're going to put the hook in just like it is wacky style, but let's finish it. We're going to go all the way back around, turn that EWG hook, and then reset it back in the plastic, and we still have that wacky, funny falling presentation, but we're now weedless.
Beautiful.
We don't get hung up near as much. We do that with the tap out, we do that with the fat job. Now with the Vapor Shad, okay, we're going to use a little different hook. We're going to want to offset.
That's a regular old style worm hook.
Regular old offset hook. And most people know how to rig a Texas rig type deal. Remember, we're doing this weightless. But I want to show you a little trick. So when we take these Vapor Shads, it looks like a perfect fish.
Yeah, you always want to try to fish it with the belly down, you'd think.
We always want to go belly down. That's what every one of us is going to do when we take it out of the bag, and we rig it just like this, expose it, and that is weedless, and that is a great way to fish it. Here's a little pro tip, a guide tip. Actually, if we turn this upside down,
right?
Okay, what it is it's got a little open gap here for that hook. Okay, if we turn this upside down, we rig this the opposite way, upside down. We have a weedless bait that's protected by that gap that's provided by the bait itself, but it has a flat platform that it will glide.
It'll be like a glide bait, a miniature glide bait.
Much better and different presentation than they're used to seeing. And then, of course, real simple, when the fish hits it, that hook comes exposed.
Because you got all that extra.
Because you got all that open deal right there. So
right.
That's my favorite way. Again, colors would be shad, brim, crawfish. Pay attention to what's in the area and match it accordingly.
Are you using a little light spinning rod when you're using the lighter stuff, and maybe a bait caster with the jigs?
Correct. Bait caster with 12 to 16 or 20 pound test in the jigs. I like the heavier stuff because I like the big fish.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're going to have, contests with the wooden things, and then the wacky stuff you want to go a little lighter. Both ways, we're using fluorocarbon line no matter what.
All right. Well, is there any other one little tip that you could give before we go?
I can tell you that a lot of the times the best docks to find are the ones that are near deep water, have either the point nearby, a break nearby, or a swing nearby of a creek. You got a lot of docks, got 100 docks. You wonder which ones to fish. Those ones that are closest to deep water.
I like the deep water access because and that's another thing. When you hook the great big one, he heads for that same hole
Heads for the deep water. So deep water, ones that are closest to deep water, do a little homework and you'll find better success, especially for bigger fish on those ones.
Beautiful. Thanks. That was great. Mike. That worked out good.
Thank you.
There you go, guys. So you want to fish a dock? That's how you do it.
Man, nobody told me when I got out of bed this morning I was going to learn today, but I just learned today.
And I want to tell you,
Wow.
Mike, that it takes a lot to impress this man, and
Very good.
His jaw was on the floor.
Wow.
Yep, mind blown.